All right, so I've started the tactical analysis section. Obviously, combined it with a little bit of football analysis. This is actually not a task I'm doing now, but I just thought I'll give you some updates as I'm going. Now I'm pretty much, the timing that I have to complete this is very short. And as I said to you guys, I've managed to secure some football analysis software from a company. The difficulty I'm facing with that is some of like the short keys, depending on what setting you're using, are in slightly different places. So I'm making a lot of mistakes during my coding process. So instead of, trying to create some detailed tagging template, which I would use, say, in a Huddle, Sports Code, or Focus, I decided to go real old school. So essentially what I've done is I've broken the game down into 4 sections. So with the ball, so attacking organization or whatever you want to call it, but essentially with the ball, without the ball, and then the 2 transition moments. So the defensive and then the attacking transition moments. So what I've done is I got real old school, watching the video, taken some notes. So I've got the times and I've kind of written the description for the types of things that I'm seeing. Now, this is very much the subjective part of it. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to look for patterns, because essentially the information I provide to the player, it needs to be visible. I think I mentioned in the last video that I'll have video analysis to provide, the subjective evidence. So if I see something happen just one time, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to put it in to the report, but it might be something that I highlight. But to begin with, I'm looking at, for example, in the attacking organization phase, I'm looking at, okay, we're building up from the back, the ball's with the keeper. What are the common starting places for this team? And then, okay, it's the ball's played to the left or the right centre back, or they've gone long. What is the common pattern? So do they play short, or do they decide to play long? Or does a midfielder drop between the centre backs to receive? All this type of information. So I'm looking for the common patterns of this team and how they build. So do they build through the thirds, or do they go centre back and then go to a winger on a diagonal? What are the common ways that these guys try and essentially score or attack? And then based on that information, so for example, the ball is always played, not always, but the ball tends to be played to the left centre back from the goalkeeper, and then from the left centre back, a midfielder drops in between the left centre back, or takes the left fullback's position. What happens to the left fullback? Does the fullback then push up, or does he come inside? Like, what's the rotation between that? So if there's like a common pattern that I'm seeing, this is the type of information that I'm going to share with the player, because this will allow that player to essentially paint pictures. So, oh, I've seen this happen before, and I've seen it not just, from the footage that I'm going to provide, but he'll recognize that moment on the pitch and be able to act accordingly. Now, obviously, the opposition plays a massive part in this, because the way I see it anyway, football has 4 references. So you have the space that's available, you have your own teammate, you have the opposition, and you have the position of the ball. So those are the 4 things that you need to essentially focus on when you are trying to break the game down, well, at least for me, tactically. So if you can always reference those 4 things, and then you provide that feedback to a player or coach, it gives them clear examples of what to essentially look for. So that's the process that I'm going through essentially at the moment. I am a little bit behind, I'll be honest. Like I said to you the other day, I felt I've been unwell, so it's been a challenge. And then trying to, get to grips with this software. I was trying to make it perfect for you lot, but in the end, like, you have to be, like I said to you, resourceful before, but you also have to be very adaptable. The adaptability part is massive, because you're going to face times where, you're not at if you are working at this level, you're not in your own stadium, and that stadium that you may be in doesn't have all the, the facilities or the tech that you normally are used to. So your normal process goes out the window, but you still need to deliver something at a high standard. So this is why I've kind of changed tack based on the time that I actually have, but then also the technologies that I have at my disposal. So once I've gone through a few more of the matches that I'm covering in the same way, I'll go back into that software and I will basically get the videos that I think are the most valuable. So the patterns that I see forming throughout those games, I'll take the best examples of those. And then what I'm going to use with the Live Tag Pro, I'm going to use the telestration software. So yeah, I'm going to have to learn that as well. But I'm going to take that telestration software and I'm going to visualize what I'm going to share with the player. And then I'm going to do a little voiceover as well. So whilst that, I guess, video is playing, the player is going to be able to hear me speaking about exactly what I'm showing him. So yeah, I'll have visualizations on the screen, but I'll also provide my voice to make sure the message is clear, because this information is not really done face to face. It might come to a point where it might be, over Zoom or something like that, but I'm basing it on, I'm going to hand this report over and the player is going to watch it on his own or with somebody in his team, and they're going to, make their conclusions based on that without me. Now, if I do manage to have, an online meeting, then great. But I can't plan for something which we haven't agreed. So this is basically what I'm doing. Hopefully that helps.